Hello and welcome to Amá CONVERSA. Today we have Angelo Eiras and Alessandra Kiana Eiras. Welcome.
Hey,
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here on episode 13, Tuesday, February 23rd of Amá CONVERSA. And today I'm very excited because I basically have a 2-for-1. So I'm very lucky for that. So I think what I'll start off with probably will be talking about Alessandra. And then I'll go into a little bit and start talking about Angelo and then ask you both some questions. So first off, Alessandra, you have been singing since you were my daughter's age. So since you were a little toddler, 3 years old. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, since my dad is a musician and music has always been my life, my mom always playing music, write CDs, my dad with his guitar, I was always really into music. And then I remember as a little girl, I had one of those play mics.
Yeah,
so I would always be with that, right? And then the karaoke. And then sometimes there'd be the festas for the nativities, for Christmas. And I would go up there and I would just sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, something, short and cute.
Aww.
And I like that. I like being on the stage, performing, doing songs. And then me and my dad just started to actually do music together to perform for talent shows. And that was in second grade. So I was 7. That was my first real performance. I did a song for an audience that I actually learned. It was Songbird, the Fleetwood Mac song.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty impressive for a second grader.
I know, we did the Eva Cassidy version because he plays guitar, so we did a guitar version.
Wow.
And yeah, and then after that, I just wanted to continue.
That is so awesome. So my first talent show was also when I was in second grade, but it was a more easier song for a little 6 or 7-year-old to sing. It was Tomorrow, Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow.
Annie.
Yes, my daughter was obsessed with Annie too. So that's amazing. So you started off with your little echoey microphone as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, just playing around.
Yes, and then you continue to do talent shows at school. You continue to do things within the Portuguese community. So you never really were shy to be in front of people and to sing or anything of that.
I feel always being around performers and because before I even did just singing songs, I was an angel up there with background singers.
Yes.
So always being up there and then going out there and just singing some songs. I guess I got comfortable as a little girl, so I just grew into that. Of course, it became a bit more nervous when it was now I really want to be into this. I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just playing around anymore, but I got comfortable.
That's very, very good, because I know for me, at least, I've always been a little bit nervous when it comes time to sing, but I mean, sometimes we just gotta try our best to get over that.
Yeah, you just gotta take risks and just do it, right?
Exactly.
And for me, I just get excited too. I think that's one thing. It's not really nerves. It's just, I'm oh my God, I'm going up.
Yes,
right?
You get anxious, you do get excited. It is like an adrenaline rush, kind of like going on a roller coaster, right? But it is, like you said, it is very enjoyable. It's very fun. And I know you've also done festivals, farmers markets, you've done different kind of fairs, and you not only sing in Portuguese and English, but you also sing in Spanish. Is that true?
Yes, because my mom's culture, she's Latina, so I'm used to, growing up listening to mariachi and
oh my God, mariachi.
Singers, that sing in Spanish. So yeah, definitely for the Cinco de Mayo festivals, and anytime I can, I want to, sing in different languages, not only from my culture, but from others. I like to do some French songs like La Vie en Rose, and I like to do that, and I'm just open. For instance, Ave Maria, there's some Italian words in that I'll do. I would love to do as many languages as possible as I can learn.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so me and you have that in common. I love Italian music. I love French music, even though it's so hard. It's so
I know,
hard.
and it's so hard when you don't have people in your family who know the language. So I'm just trying to listen and learn it. And I'm like, so sorry if I'm saying something wrong. I'm trying my best.
You know what? There's actually some amazing fados, because I know that you love to sing fados, and we're going to get into that too. But there is also some amazing fados in Italian and in French that Amalia sings, and you must check that out, because literally that's one of my goals for the future, is to sing, like you said, sing in French, sing in Italian, sing in Spanish, Portuguese, English, everything. It fascinates me.
I will definitely look into that.
Yes, very amazing songs. And also here I have that you were supposed to sing at the Fado Night at BJM, right? Can you explain to us, what does that stand for? Where is that at? And what was this Fado Night supposed to be? And unfortunately, it got canceled due to COVID-19, but hopefully it has been postponed to hopefully this year or next year, 2022, if everything's the same from 2020. So can you talk just a little bit about that? And can you also talk about other times that you've sang Fado in the past? And then I also want Angelo to speak on this one, because I know you recently started getting into Fado, and you recently started getting into guitarra portuguesa. So we'll love for Alessandra to speak a little bit about that first, and then Angelo to kind of support the topic.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting into Fado as well. So this was going to be my first time really performing it for people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was going to be my first performance singing in
I think I did not know that. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was going to be big, and my dad was also part of making sure it happened. Like he helped pick the day and all that, and was helping me with the songs. So yeah, it was going to be really big, and people were going, we were getting people.
Yeah.
But then, of course, COVID. So yeah, we just are hoping that we can reschedule it, because we're going to have other fadistas and singers and other entertainment, and it was going to be a dinner. So we were just, it was going to be.
Where is the BJM? What is that?
BJM is the Bom Jesus Milagroso of California, South California. It's an organization that was founded by people from Madeira Island in 1921. Oh, wow. This is their 100th year in existence, and we're hoping to have some festivities this year if things open up to celebrate and commemorate the 100-year anniversary. So we're all waiting for things to get better so that we could start performing again. Everything got postponed, so we're on hold, but we're still learning some songs.
Yeah.
This Father that Alessandra sang.
That was going to be one of them,
That's going to be one of those songs.
Yes.
And she's working on a few others.
Right? Gente Minha Terra, right? For the
Gente Minha Terra, beautiful song.
Very beautiful song. And so, Angelo, when did you start getting into fados, and when did you think to yourself, you know what? Hey, I want to learn guitarra portuguesa. And I have to tell you, me being a new fadista as well, I am so happy, so excited that you have decided to learn guitarra portuguesa, because we need more guitarra portuguesa in our community. It's something that is very lacking, and I've already said this on Amá CONVERSA before, that if anybody's watching this and you have young daughters or sons or whatever, not even has to be your kid, it could be your niece, your nephew, your neighbor that you know that might like music, let's get these kids, it doesn't even have to be Portuguese kids, let's get these kids into the music and let's start learning guitarra portuguesa, because honestly, this is a big thing that's happening now for 2019, 2020, 2021. If you start looking into what's hot right now in Portugal, it is actually fusion music that has guitarra portuguesa implanted in it. So it could be like some hip hop going on, right? Or some R&B thing going on, and then they'll throw in the guitarra portuguesa right there. And I love that, and I feel like this is only the beginning of that, and there's going to be more to come, because there's even like, I don't know the song right now, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to tell you guys. There is an American producer that is infatuated now with the guitarra portuguesa. So he's been putting it into like American hip hop songs. So I just discovered this like a few months ago. So I'm like all into it. So yeah, Angela, can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Sure. I started playing when I was a teenager, about 14 years old, in a Portuguese band called Primavera em Portugal. And the leader of the band was Manuel Mestre, who was part of Os Cinco de Portugal back in the 70s. They were a very popular band. They used to fill the house, and he's from the local area here in Hayward, where we're from. And he asked me to be in the band, and I said, sure. And of course, he liked to play all kinds of different songs. We played fathers, we played boleros, we played all the songs that you hear at the festas.
Yes.
And I started listening more to fado, and I liked it. But I always thought more could be done with the Portuguese guitar, and more can be done with fado.
Yes, I agree.
When I got into college and I started learning how to use different chords and how they work together and the harmonies and the structure of harmony, I started taking some Portuguese songs that I knew, and I reharmonized them in a way that was a little bit different.
Interesting.
And after I started a band called Viva Portugal, I met a guy named Bob Coach, and we started a different band called Fado Tropical.
Wow, so I did not know that, Fado Tropical.
Right, so what we did is we took all those arrangements that I had put away in a drawer, and we got together, and we actually put together a band with these new songs. And some of the songs back then, back in the early mid-90s, Fado was still traditional.
Yeah, of course. So you guys are trying to, already in the 90s, you guys were trying to kind of fusion it up at that point then, basically is what you're trying to say.
Right, and then John Cordeiro, who played in the band with me.
Yes, I know John Cordeiro.
He said to me, he says, Angela, why don't you play the Portuguese guitar? You would be a good candidate to take up the Portuguese guitar. I said, really, you think so? He says, yeah, you should get one. I said, okay.
Why does that sound like him, the way you're talking? That's so funny.
So, well, that's what he said. So I picked up a Portuguese guitar, and as soon as I picked it up, I put it back in the case. And I said, this is way hard. This is nothing like a normal guitar.
Oh my God.
And back then I had so many other things going on. I knew I was going to have to invest a lot of time to learn how to play.
You have to play that thing like every day, right? Basically.
You really do, to get really good at it.
Yeah.
So I said, wow, this is going to take some time. So I'll just put it away until I'm ready to invest that kind of time in it. And then finally one day I said, hey, I'm going to do this. So I pulled it out of the case and I started learning it like in a more methodical way.
Yeah.
And what I realized was there's a lot of technique because of these finger style, the pick that you have to use unhas. You have to have artificial nails.
Let's see your unhas.
I don't have big unhas. I got the ones for the guitar, but you got to put them on with tape.
Oh, the fake ones. Okay, got it.
Fake ones, yes. And even that is a problem to get overcome because it's not normal to have fake artificial nails on, right? So the technique involved in playing the Portuguese guitar I found to be the most difficult part of the instrument. And not to mention that it's also tuned very differently than the regular guitar. There's a completely different tuning, which throws everything off. Oh, wow. And being a guitar player, it was hard to adapt to the new tuning because you got that habit of thinking how the string should be, right? So it's like driving a car in reverse, you know?
So when you're tuning it, you're actually not going this way, you're going the opposite way?
No, the tuning on the strings, for example, the guitar, the regular guitar is an E, A, D, G, B, and E. Okay, that's a regular guitar. The Portuguese guitar is a D, A, B, E, A, B. See, so it's completely different.
Oh, okay, got it.
It throws you off completely, yeah.
A different order. The sound is in a different order.
Right. So the tuning's different. So it becomes harder for someone who actually played so many years on the guitar. Woohoo! So I actually started doing it every day a little bit, as much as I could, to the point where I could actually play songs, and actually got hired to do a few gigs. you know, we did a gig in San Jose for Paul's 40th anniversary. They had about 500-600 people at the hall at the IS.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was very nice. Crystal Minch sang.
Nice.
Abel Martins, you know Abel Martins?
Of course, yes.
And Crystal Minch put that together. Very beautiful night. I think there's some videos up on YouTube of that night. Yeah, check that out. That was a few years ago. I think it was.
So the Posto 40th anniversary, right?
Right.
I'll check that out. Nice. So that was, so you've done just a few, and you started a few years back, you said, right? Like officially divulging that to the public, but before you have just been practicing on your own, but now you're like ready to hit the floor, rock and roll, right?
Yeah, I've done a few gigs. Like John Cordeiro asked me to play Portuguese guitar at a wedding up in Hildesburg, up near Santa Rosa.
Nice.
And that was nice. It was 110 degrees up there.
Oh my God. So it was during
wedding.
the busy week that we had like the freaking 115 weather and all that stuff. Oh my God, that was crazy. And so here, I have here, so you started learning guitar back in the early 80s, right?
Right.
And ever since then, you've just been fascinated with music. And I know you touched upon a little bit that you had your own band in the 90s. So how long did you have your band? And what exactly did you do with your band? You played at Portuguese Festas? Or what
Portuguese Festas, yes. We played at all the Espírito Santos festas. We played at crab feeds, weddings, anniversaries. We went all over the state. We played, you know, in Artesia. We played Pismo Beach. We played a lot, Half Moon Bay, up in Benicia, Sacramento, all over. Fantastic. So it was a good time. We had a lot of gigs. And over the years, I met several very good musicians.
Let's talk about that. What are some of the musicians and singers that you've worked with throughout the years? Because I know there has been plenty, because it's been so many decades of music, you know? Yeah,
there have been so many. I mean, musicians that were talented and I totally respect. There was a Brazilian guy named Pedro Ferreira who came to California around '94 for the World Cup, when they had the World Cup at Stanford. Mm-hmm. And the Brazilian soccer team was based in Los Gatos, and they were doing a lot of festivals and clubs, and there was a lot of events going on with the Brazilian community. And he got me involved in the Brazilian scene, and I was playing, and then I asked him if he wanted to come and join the band that I had at the time. We needed a keyboard player. And so he came, and he was the keyboard player with the band for a couple years. Oh. And he was very, very good. Unfortunately, he had to go back to Brazil. His life was in Brazil. Got it. And he joined a band in Brazil called Só Pra Contrariar with a guy named Alessandra Kiana. He's been nominated for a Latin Grammy.
Oh, wow.
And they got very successful, and they've been performing ever since. They did a reunion CD just recently, and he's been on Brazilian TV quite a bit. Fantastic. And so I got a lot of information just working with him on how the Brazilian music and the Portuguese music kind of go together a little bit.
Of course.
And then I met Bob Coach, who's a piano player, and he loves to write. So everything we'd write out. Oh, wow. We have these arrangements. Nice. Then John Cordeiro was in the band for a while. And then I joined the Atlânticos with Manuel Pacheco.
Oh my gosh, wow. I know him since I was a little girl from childhood, because I went to school with his sons, Matthew and Christopher. And Christopher was actually in my grade, and he was my best friend we went to school the whole time together, from kindergarten all the way to high school. So he was my best friend, and I tell everyone this. He was my best friend from kindergarten all the way to senior year. So
awesome.
It's a small world. And so this leads me back to, you're into Brazilian music, and Alessandra has her first single, actually not a new single, but her new and first single, The Wonder of Living. And I want to get into that. So maybe Alessandra and Angelo, you can talk a little bit about that, because I know that it was perfected, mixed, and finalized in Sao Paulo, Brazil, by one of your very good friends that lives there. So can you please tell a little bit about that whole story and the 6 years in the drawer, because that's crazy.
Yeah. So one of the Brazilian friends that I met at the same time I met Pedro Ferreira was Ademar Lima. His nickname was Boca. We call him Boca. And we said, "You sure it's okay to call you Boca?" He says, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody calls me."
He talks a lot, or what?
Right. Yeah, he talks a lot. Say, "Oh, Boca," right? So he's a drummer, and he was in the band. He played Portuguese music too, and unfortunately, he had to go back to Brazil. And then we lost touch. We didn't talk to each other for years.
Oh, wow.
And then out of the blue, he found me on Facebook and sent me a friend request, and then a messenger, through messenger, a text, and then a phone call. And he told me that he had written a song called Wonder of Living, that he had it recorded, but it never evolved into anything. So he kept it in a drawer. But when he heard my daughter sing, he felt that she had the perfect voice for the song.
I agree. I love the song.
He asked if I would ask my daughter if she could sing this song. And I said, "Well, yeah, send me the song. Let me hear it." And he did that. And the first arrangement of the song was totally different.
Interesting.
It sounded more like a Patsy Cline.
It was country.
More of a country type of.
Oh, instead of what this sounded like Amy Winehouse-y. I like
jazz,
that.
right? Yeah, totally different.
So then he tells me that he doesn't have the actual master because it got lost.
Oh, wow.
On somebody's hard drive or something. But he said it's not a problem because he wanted to do a new arrangement for the song anyway. I said, okay. How long is that going to take? And, what are you going to do? And he says that he had a guy in Sao Paulo, Brazil, who was the bass player for Ivan Lins. Ivan Lins is a very famous songwriter, piano player in the jazz world in Brazil, all over the world. He's very well known, Ivan Lins. In fact, I was just watching a documentary on Carlos do Carmo.
Yes.
And they had all these artists congratulating him for his 80th birthday, and Ivan Lins was one of those people. So I was like, wow. So anyway, his bass player, his name is Nema Antunes, has a studio in Brazil, and he arranges and produces music. And so my friend Admar, through him, produced a new arrangement for the song.
The jazz version you're used to. Yeah.
And he sent it to us, and I thought, wow, this is really very nice. It had sax and had all these beautiful instruments playing. So we recorded the vocals, and we sent the tracks to Brazil, where it was put in the final mix.
That's awesome. And it was released in Brazil. It's been released here. I have here in my notes that it's basically on all the music streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Deezer, and other streaming sources, correct?
Can't miss it. It's out there.
Wonder of Living, and I will be playing it on the radio program, and we will be posting your Fadu on the Pama Media as well. So we'll definitely be checking you out on that. And then I also wanted to get into, because I forgot to mention, which this is like a very important piece of the puzzle here, that your daughter, Alessandra, you're only, how old?
15. In 2 months, I'm going to be 16. So,
wow,
yeah.
A sophomore in high school doing distant learning. And so now you're doing distant learning and you're focusing on your music. You have a little bit more time to focus on music now, right? And I think like this whole pandemic thing was actually, and I was telling your dad the first time we spoke on the phone, I was telling him that this literally was a blessing in disguise for a lot of people, for me, for you, for your dad. He has a little bit time more to practice with you. You're home doing distant learning. So I think like the sky's the limit for you. Yeah, only 15 years old, gonna be 16 in 2 weeks. I feel like You have a very bright future ahead. You have a lot of things to achieve, to conquer. But I would like to talk a little bit of what you've achieved so far, because I know you've won some awards. So if you can go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, some awards that I've won, for instance, was for the city of Hayward, I won the Hall of Fame Leadership Award.
That's so cool.
So that was a whole ceremony. I sang the national anthem for the ceremony, which was awesome.
Wow.
And then recently, since, like you said, we're just distance learning, so we have more time to do music, they actually had a Foundation of the Arts, basically a contest or competition, where you just send in like a minute of you singing, and then, you know, you could win money. So I came in second place, so I won $50, and they posted it, thank you. Yeah, they posted it on this, you know, Hayward website, and yeah, it was a nice thing to do. There was nothing else going on, right?
That's true. That's awesome. And so you're also involved with the city of Hayward as far as being a young commissioner. So can you talk a little bit about what is that exactly?
Yeah, so the city has a program where it's called the Hayward Youth Commissioners. So basically we have advisors who work for the Hayward government, and we youngsters, right, we come together and we talk about problems that are in the city and solutions we come up with. We want the youth to be involved in the city. Like right now, even though it's all distance and everything, we're going to actually have a virtual fair, a youth fair that we were supposed to have before the pandemic happened, but then that happened. So it was canceled. So now we're going to do it virtual. We're going to have workshops, for instance, for mental health, social justice workshops, more information on COVID-19. Then we're going to have some guest speakers, hopefully maybe the mayor, some council members, and then also entertainment. So they said that they were hoping to have me do a video of my song, Wonder of Living, and have that as entertainment with other Hayward performers. And yeah, it's just going to be fun, and there's going to be raffles and just stuff to do, since there's really nothing else going on except school. And
I wish that, well, if San Jose does have a program like that, I don't know of it, but I feel like that is very important for the kids to get involved and feel like they have a voice. And you guys have amazing ideas. I feel like the kids just pop out knowing more than the generation before, right? So like my kid, she's way smarter than me when I was 3. So I feel like we should listen to the kids, because sometimes they know what they're talking about, you know, so.
And they're our future. We gotta listen, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's so cool that you're involved with that. So how did you just get involved with that because of the pandemic, or have you been interested in the city of Hayward to
I started 8th grade.
Oh wow.
So, and you have to apply, because then you get interviewed basically. So I applied and I was interviewed, and you're selected because they only have a few slots open, right? So I think it's about 20 kids or students that they're able to have in the commission. So I was interviewed with many others, and I was selected. And I started off as I didn't start off as a voting member. I started off as basically like to fill in if someone isn't there. But I went to all of the meetings because I was dedicated and I wanted to become a voting member. So
the spot right here.
Thank you. Yes, and I became a voting member the next year. So yeah, and I've been in it. I hope to continue until senior year, and yeah, I'm all for it.
That is very, very, very cool. And now I'm gonna look into that to see if they have one for San Jose. And now I've moved to Hillmar, so I'm not sure if they have something out here, like in the Modesto, Turlock area, but I think that is a very cool thing to explore. And another thing that I forgot to ask you when we were talking about the Bon Jesus, I forgot to ask you, where is that located? Is that in Hayward?
Yes, that's in Hayward, near 580 and 238.
So is there a big Madeirense community in Hayward? Because I know you were originally from Madeira, and I forgot to mention that. So everyone listening, Angelo's originally from Madeira Island, the same island as my best friend Cristiano Ronaldo. And he immigrated here at 2 years old. So is there a big population of people from Madeira where you're from in Hayward?
They're scattered. There is a pretty good group of Madeirenses that still live in Hayward. There's still quite a few in Santa Clara. Santa Clara had many.
Yes.
But the main organization for Madeirenses is the BJM. And that's been in existence, as I mentioned, 100 years.
Wow.
And I'm on the board of the hall.
That's fantastic. Okay. See, that's why I love talking to people from all over the place, because today you taught me a lesson on the guitarra portuguesa, and you also taught me about BJM. Sorry, I have to drink a water before I cough a lung out. Oh my gosh. Amalium. Every time I need to cough on Amá CONVERSA, I just think of Amalium, because she was a heavy smoker, heavy drinker, and I just say, life, whatever.
Drink up.
Whatever, you know. But for the people hearing me on the radio, they already know how I am. One time I had my refrigerator door open and was like beeping, and I had to get up and close it. So they already know that they hear some crazy things sometimes on the radio, which is fine. So Alessandra, any more achievements that you've done as far as music goes that you would like us all to know? And what are some of your future goals? You don't have to divulge everything to us, but what are some future goals that you would like to work on or accomplish? So I know that was loaded. So what are some achievements, and then what are some future goals?
Right, well, like musically now, I just post a bunch of covers on YouTube, some short clips on other social media platforms.
Very good.
I know that during middle school, I was known for being in the musicals and the plays.
Love
So that was very nice. And mostly for Hayward, I've been doing well academically, and that is what I get the awards for. But they know me musically, so I love the support I get, on social media platforms. In the future, I just hope to release more songs, and I'm even hoping to release some of my original songs that I wrote, because I have like a pile in my room. I'm hoping to, release some of them.
A new door to Pandora's box right now. So you also write music and poems and all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's very, very good.
Some of them are old. Some of them are like 4 years old, and I just need to get them out there. I need some musicians, and hopefully my dad can be a part of it. And yeah, I would love to release them.
I see two very important things here. And the two important things that I see is that you have a very great advantage, because you have your own personal musician at your use whenever you need, which is that right there is very key, because a lot of singers within our community, they don't have, I'm not going to say the support, because that's not the word. They don't have the luxury of having a musician next to them at all times, that they're like, hey, Dad, let's practice this. Or, hey, Dad, I want to try a new thing. Or, hey, Dad, can you learn this? Because honestly, that is very, very good. And then the second thing was that you're a writer. And for example, me, I like to sing, but I don't like to write. But when I was younger, like the 12, 13 area, I did try to write, and I did have a lot, but I just gave up on that. And so what I'm going to tell you is I never continued, and I never developed that skill. So I do like to write, but I don't like to write music and poems. But I think I'm going to try to get out of my comfort zone in the future. But I feel like writing is so intimate and personal, and I commend you for that, because that's not easy to do, because you're literally spilling your soul, your heart, and like everything out for everyone. And so I think I'm
talking about your personal life, you know, oh, this song's about a crush, this song's about when I was sad, like, you know, people are now knowing a bit more about you. And sometimes that's hard to do, but
that's the second thing that's really gonna, that's another advantage that you have, because you can have a good voice and you can be, you know, a great performer, you can have all these things, but if you don't know how to write your own music, you're very limited on what you can and cannot do. So
yeah, you can't become your own artist just doing covers, because you're just going to be known as doing someone else's song. But when you have your own song, like, okay, this is her, this is what she's saying, this is her music.
exactly. And when you do reach to that point, I feel like people even perceive you differently. They don't perceive you as just uma cantadora, just like a singer. They perceive you as like a real artista, and when they perceive you as that, a lot of different things happen. So you know, they think that you're a real artist, which you are. And so I definitely feel like never stop that skill, just keep developing it. You're still really young, and if you just continue and you don't stop like I did, I feel like who knows what you can do, you know?
And I'm open to trying new things. Like, I understand my dad's busy too. He has his job, he has other things going on. So I'm open to working with other musicians too and trying new things with my music and doing things. Yes. Because it's all just getting out there and doing something, even if it doesn't start off good, but as long as you try and be like, okay, we can do this better in the future, then.
That's the thing that I always think too. Like, for example, if maybe when I sing it didn't go too good, I always like to rewatch it, take my notes, see what I did wrong, see what I can improve for next time, so that the next time I always like to one up myself from the last before. So I think that's
sometimes it just depends on who you work with. Some people get your ideas and work well with you, and others don't. Like me and my dad, we work really well when we do songs together. But like I said, like when my dad's busy or something, I would like to work with others too who get my ideas and want to create music with me.
Yes, and that leads me to another thing, because I love to be collaborative. I love talking to people. I love learning. I just love duets and harmonies, like I was telling you earlier. And I hope after the pandemic that we will have a chance to sing together, hopefully for a Fado night. That would be great. And then I would love it if your father could play for me. That would be amazing. Like I said, we need more guitarra portuguesa. And if anyone's listening to this, even if you're not a kid, say you're me, like my age, or even younger, older, whatever, you can start anything at any time. Like, look at my father. My father is over 60 years old, and he barely now started painting. And he paints like as if he was born like painting. So the guy paints so well, and I feel like even if you're older and if you wanted to learn guitarra portuguesa, yes, it is a challenge. Yes, it is very hard. Yes, it is totally different musically, like Angela was explaining. But if you like a challenge and you like to learn new things, I feel like if you apply yourself, anything is possible. Literally anything is possible.
If you're passionate about something, it will just happen and it will be great.
Exactly.
Yes, you can do anything you want. Just got to put the work into it. And if you got the desire, got the will, there's a way. Yeah. You're going to make it.
It has to be your passion, right?
I agree. And like when we actually start to do things that we are passionate about, and I talked about this a few episodes ago, I feel like the universe rewards you for doing what you were placed on this earth to do. So when you actually do what you love, I feel like you not only brings you happiness, duh, we know that, but a lot of other things start to happen. A lot of doors open, a lot of connections start to happen. A lot of, I like to call it sparks, because I feel like the universe is just like sparks are flying, like fireworks are going off.
It's like, I have to say, after I released my first single, doors have opened for me where I've met other musicians from around the world and gotten more people to support me. And I think that's just awesome. And it was just meant to happen. It was a great opportunity.
100%. And I feel like this music world, like once you do start diving in a little bit, just like how you're diving in and I'm diving in, it gets so fascinating, and literally music connects the whole world. Even if we don't speak the same language, I feel like kind of like when they say if you don't speak the same language and like you have somebody that doesn't speak English, for example, and they speak the language of love. I feel like music is also can be the language of love, because anybody can connect over music. You don't have to be from the same country. You don't
Yeah, like for instance, like the songs I've told you about, like they're in French, Italian, you know, languages I don't know, but because the music is so beautiful, I love it, right? And then I want to do it now.
Exactly. And I feel like Fado is kind of like that too, where even if you don't understand Portuguese, it's very intriguing. It's very calling. It's very stops you in your tracks. It makes you listen. And I've said this all before, but honestly, American people are fascinated by Portugal right now, especially right now. Like, Portugal is like the top place to visit, and they are literally fascinated by Fado music. And as they should be, because Fado is something super, super old from the 1800s that has a crazy history. It's a very controversial history. So people love that, and that makes them even more like drawn to it, right? So I feel like what we're doing, not only are we connecting with people all over the world, but we are going to start divulging Fado all over the world. So we're not only did Amalia do that and Marisa does that now for us, but I feel like it needs to be pushed more. It needs to be pushed more to the front. And like Angelo said, he wants people to learn more about it, just like how in the 90s he had Fado Tropical. So there's just so many things to keep exploring and keep creating. And I feel like we should never stop. Never stop, right? And so thank you guys so much for being here today. I don't even know if we've done the 30 minutes or not. I feel like we did over, but I just got so excited with you guys. And like I said, it was a 2-for-1 deal for me, so I'm very happy about it. And so, Alessandra, any last words that you would like to tell the listeners of Amá CONVERSA?
I would just say, like, I'm looking forward to releasing new music. We're going to release some more covers. So just support us. My page is out there. My dad is too. And yeah, thank you for listening. And thank you for the opportunity for this episode. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to wish you both the most success. And Alessandra, you are an amazing, amazing 15-year-old, which blows my mind every time. And you have an amazing voice. Don't ever stop. Keep following your dreams. You have a beautiful personality. Not only are you beautiful, but you just have a beautiful personality. And when you're beautiful on the inside out, like I'm telling you, the universe rewards you for being a great person and for doing things that you're passionate about. So thank you again for being here. Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you. And I hope to see you guys very soon. I've been praying for the end of this pandemic like crazy. So I hope that it ends.
And pray that we could all get together and share the same stage again.
Yeah, we're going crazy in the house all day, just here stuck.
And anytime that you guys are in the Central Valley for whatever reason, if you need a place to crash, or you need to go to the restroom or drink something or eat something, my door is always open. Literally always open. Even if I'm not here, come inside my house, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. All right, Marisa, thank you so much.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Beijinhos.